laughing our asses off, laughing so hard that you start to snort or fart and whatever, which makes the other people laugh even more. Till you're on the verge of like pissing yourself, falling out of the chair. You're so full of pizza and pop, and it's just like, oh my God, this is so great. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Karafying, and today it's a little interesting because I keep seeing these videos, right? And I definitely have a weigh-in spot because one, I did this as a kid, and two, my kids do not do this. So I guess I'm on that side of the fight. So, not a fight, but you get it. So this episode is about sleepovers. Why were there more sleepovers in my time as a kid, like in the 90s, as opposed to now? Now, a lot of people will be like, my kids have sleepovers just as much as I did. Congratulations. That's all great. That's all great. Now, come on. When I say sleepover, I mean at like a friend's house, so maybe you do. Maybe you have these neighbors or super close friends or whatever. So we're just gonna jump in. I'll save opinions for the moment. So just and let's just get there. So while still a popular tradition for many, the frequency of sleepovers has declined significantly since the 90s due to a shift in parenting styles and the rise of digital technology. Many modern parents prefer alternatives like sleep unders or late overs. Never heard either of those terms used, by the way, where kids participate in evening activities but return home to sleep. All right, so you hang out till like 11, midnight, even 1 o'clock, and then go home to sleep. Because I feel like once you hit a certain hour, that's when parents go to bed, kids, don't, everything else. So, okay. The move away from traditional sleepovers is driven by several modern concerns. First off, I definitely had a huge number of sleepovers. I had friends come over, I was gone a lot. Much appreciated because I had some of the best times at sleepovers, and I had some sketchy ones too. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. It's in the past. It was what it was. There's no, unlike today, all you fuckers are screwed, by the way, because whatever you do, it's out there. But me, yeah, not so much. So I was in that last era of you could be a shithead and it won't be pulled up 10 years from now kind of deal. So in that respect, we'll never know if there was shifty stuff done. But yeah. So, all right. Modern concerns. Here we go. Safety and trust. Modern parents are often more cautious than those in the 90s. High profile news and social media have increased awareness of risks like peer-to-peer abuse, firearm safety, and unsupervised access to older siblings and other visitors in the home. Anyone have any stories about an older brother or an older brother's friend or a weird uncle or whatever? Yeah. I remember going to my friend's house. She had a hot tub, and there were like 3 of us in there. And I remember getting out of the hot tub because I had to go to the bathroom, and there were no towels out there. So I knew her mom was in the kitchen. What I didn't know is that her mom, her uncle, and a couple other adults were in there having fucking tequila shots. I go in the kitchen, fucking freezing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, can I have a towel? And this uncle opens his arms and opens his legs, and he's like, call me towel. It's in there, right? Was it good? Probably not. But it's in there. And it happened. So anyway, the thought of I was 15 at the time, but even the thought of my 17-year-old getting out of a hot tub in her bathing suit and going up and some older man saying that really bothers me. Yeah, it bothers me. So, digital dangers. Oh, there were plenty of other situations, but thankfully nothing crazy, but I've known people to have those situations too, and that is... So digital dangers. In the 90s, the biggest digital risk was a prank call. Plenty. God, it was so good. That was before Star 69, before caller ID. even when you had caller ID and you used star 69, not many people knew the star 67 trick. And it was just like, yeah, you could just crack open the phone book. You know what that is? Look it up, Google. Anyway, you crack open the phone book and you just pick one, and then it's like, hey, this lucky person, let's see what they get to hear. So yes, guilty of that. Today, unmonitored smartphones at sleepovers can expose kids to inappropriate content, cyberbullying, or the pressure to share private photos. You know, I never was stupid enough to send an inappropriate photo. I mean, not like that. But today, I've heard so many stories of people that I know having their kids have this situation. It's just like, ugh, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Busier schedules. Children today often have more structured commitments, such as early morning sports practices or tutoring, which makes a late night social event less practical. Don't know about all that. I mean, for some, sure, but I mean, I feel like the world is just busier. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even have anything to do with the kids. Like, they have to go to school, but like, I feel like our household is way more fucking busy than mine was back then. I don't know. Sleep quality. There is a greater cultural focus on the importance of sleep for mental and physical health. Parents and experts note that the exhaustion following a sleepover can lead to irritability and poor academic performance. Typically, when we had sleepovers, it was like on a Friday, Saturday situation. So, like, for all you rock harders going out in the middle of the week, I mean, there were a couple times where we did that, like, later, you know, like teen years, and we just ride to school together, you know, but it wasn't, yeah, I don't know. We were built different, you know, so maybe, you know, maybe these kids today need like 12 and a half hours of sleep, or they're irritable and whatever, but we're built different, okay? We're built different. Anxiety and comfort. Some children struggle with sleep crutches, routines, or items from home that they need to fall asleep. I'm also guilty of that now. Making staying anywhere else stressful rather than fun. Okay, as a kid, we slept in tents, we slept in campers, slept in the bed next to our friend, air mattress on the floor, whatever the fuck, on the couch. Like, I could sleep anywhere. All right. But now as an adult, I've acquired the needs to have certain things. I've got pillows that I need. I always sleep with a fan. Like, there are things, all right? But I've learned that, you know, because I still don't get a whole lot of sleep, the sleep that I do get, it will be good sleep. All right. I don't have to sleep on the floor for anybody. I don't need to listen to, yeah, it's different. It's different. All right. So here we go. We're going to do a comparison of the 90s versus today. And what's different? Because there are a hell of a lot of things that are different that play into a lot of this. So, for example, social core. 1990s sleepover. In-person conversations, magazines, board games. You know what I mean? You show up with a stack of like Cosmo or 17 or whatever the fuck rest of them. There were so many magazines like that. But you show up with the magazines and you get a bunch of junk food and you got your, you know, whatever game you want to play, or, you know, you do the Ladies and Feather Stiff as a board or Ouija board or what. Like, sleepovers were fun. And then you gossip and you chit chat. You talk about who you like, who you don't like what's going on in school. What are we going to do this weekend? Like, actually talked. We did each other's nails, hair. We did, you know, whatever we just were so more involved, like face to face. Modern sleepover. I don't even like how that sounds. Modern sleepover. Screen sharing. Social media posting, online gaming, TikTok dances. Like, I feel so bad for kids today. Like, I feel so bad, even for my own kids. Like, my kids have a lot of shit that I didn't, and they get to do a lot that I didn't. But there are things in my childhood that I wish they could experience for themselves, because even trying to replicate it does not, right? Does not. And I'm going to say there are parts, but again, built different. There are parts that they would have loved, for sure. Parental oversight. 90 sleepover. Hands off unless things got too loud. Seriously, like there was always a parent around, but I mean, they're cool when they ordered us pizza or, hey, let's go rent a movie or whatever. Other than that, like unless you're being crazy obnoxious and interrupting their time, they left you alone. It was great. It was great. Now, we weren't setting forest fires or like stabbing people or anything like that. We're not doing the shady shit. We're doing kid stuff. All right. And even when we started doing a little bit like, I mean, what's Boone's Farm taste like? Let's be honest, kind of deal. When we were in that era, we still weren't like, we were sneaky, but it wasn't like, all right, well, let's just go down this fifth jack real quick. They'll never know. Anyway, it's crazy how different this is. My gosh. Let me know in the comments. Am I the only one with these kind of stories? You have to have a crazy story, right? From your 90s sleepover. Let's be honest. If any of this is like hitting home with you, don't forget to hit that follow button. We do this every Friday. We get into stuff just like this. So don't want you to miss anything. Here we go. All right. So hands off unless things got too loud. Whereas today, modern, higher concern regarding values, tech rules, and household safety. In other words, you got the smother mother helicopters just kind of hanging around doing the check-ins, which I understand. The check-ins are important because a lot of shady shit, not in my situation, thankfully, but because of the hands-off situation, or when people are hands-off and doors are closed and things like that, shady shit can happen. Shady shit can happen of all kinds. I don't even need to say it because you already know. So, completely understand the check-ins and all of that, because letting them know that you're constantly present kind of offsets anything shifty, shady from happening. So, all right. Yeah. Connectivity. 90s. Landline phones disconnected from the wider world, which means if you're bored, you got to fucking figure it out. If there's nothing on TV, you got to figure it out. We always had to figure things out. All right. We had the home phone. That was it. Plugged into the wall or cordless or whatever, which, yeah, we could walk around, talk to whoever, we could do the prank calls and everything else. Outside of that, we had regularly scheduled programming. If it was a Friday night, you had like TGIF, that 4 block of shows or whatever for a couple hours. And yeah, if you didn't have movies or cable or anything else, you had to fill the space with something. You had to do something. You had to think about it. You had to come up with it. Like, kids don't do that today. So, modern, constant connection to the internet and social networks. How that's more fun. Like, I remember, like, being bored. It's like 10:30 at night. We get up and decide that the 3 of us at the time are going to just walk down her dirt road and go down to the bridge. It was like maybe half a mile down the road. We lived in the middle of fucking nowhere, so we're outside. It's like a summer night, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever. It's duskish. It's like that full moon night where like it's pretty fucking bright. You got fireflies popping up on our walk. So we hear the crunch of the gravel under our shoes and the cool breeze every now and then. We can see, a deer popping up, which kind of scares everyone, because we hear the sticks and shit. We get, like, what's that? Because immediately you think, somebody like Ghostface or whatever. But then you see the deer, you laugh your asses off, you continue the walk, you get into those heart-to-hearts where you're storytelling and everything. You sit on the edge of the bridge, you plop rocks into the water while you're still having these deep conversations. Like, people don't do that today. Kids don't do that today. They do this. Oh, look. That is what it is. I swear to God, the most like deep connections they have is when they're trying to collaborate a fucking dance or video to do together so that the world can see. I was so happy just having those two people I was with and just like getting into those moments where we could just be. You know what I mean? You can't look that up. You can't Google that shit and find that fucking trip. But modern sleepovers, can't fucking hide them. Can't fucking hide them. Primary goals 90s. Late night bonding and independence. Like I just said, we stayed up playing card games, laughing our asses off, laughing so hard that you start to snort or fart and whatever, which makes the other people laugh even more. Till you're on the verge of like pissing yourself, falling out of the chair. You're so full of pizza and pop, and it's just like, oh my God, this is so great. Like, there's so much candy over there, and it's like 2:30 in the morning. How late can we stay up? Like, let's do it all night long. Blah. It was so fan-fucking-tastic. Like, it was just great. I remember every time I packed a fucking bag, like making sure I had all my stuff, my jammies, my everything, whatever. And it's just like, I could throw shit in a backpack. I can't pack like that today. I was so happy to be able to have that fucking freedom for that night. It's like, oh, we're gonna have so much fun. And you just knew. You had no idea what you were gonna do. You just knew it was gonna be a good fucking time. That was it. That was the magic of the 90s sleepover, for sure. Whereas primary goal, modern, often replaced by late overs for socialization without the stay. So, cool. I get to hang with my friends till about 11 o'clock, or earlier even, till the sun goes down. And then that was fun, and I'll see you in the daylight tomorrow. Because, yeah, my mom doesn't, yeah. It is a crazy difference, the two. And because of all of those things, even though I had the best fucking time, I did. Even though that was my story, my kids do not have these fucking free sleepovers. It just doesn't happen. First off, I feel like kids don't know each other like we had to know people, right? Like, these were people, when you found friends back in the day, you stuck with them. Like, they were there. They were your ride or die before ride or die was even a fucking thing. Like, you knew who was going to stick by you, stick up for you, and all of those things, who you had shit in common with. Like, we didn't have the magic fucking brick that gave us everything when we were feeling anything. No. We had to rely on other people for that. Or go alone. So, and I lived in a small enough town. My fucking graduating class had like 68 people. All right, some shit like that. That's how small it's talking. My daughter graduates this year, and I think her class is like 384. Get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's just not the same. We're not in the same places, not in the same, people, not people that I've grown up with my whole life. I mean, I knew these people from kindergarten to graduation. They don't have that. But as many times as we've moved and everything else, like, they have a friend, good friend for a couple years, but I can't vet people in their house, so she's got two older brothers. Cool. No. Oh, her stepdad lives there. You're like, no, that's all right. No. Now, you want to go to the movies? You guys want to go to the mall? You want to go shop or whatever the fuck? You want to go hang out for the day? By all means, And I've got Life 360, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just, with everything that I can see people going fucking nuts in the middle of the day, in the middle of a school, a store, in the street. I am not willing to just assume that everyone's good just because, you know, a fun time wants to be had or whatever. And that's a really shitty way to think, especially since I grew up in the complete opposite. I grew up with the cool shit. Was there still shady shit going on? Of course, absolutely. Were there bad things that happened? Of course, absolutely. Unfortunately, not to me, but I mean, and I'm very thankful for that. I've always been a little bit feisty, so I don't know, but nothing like that. But I feel like because I don't know if it's just more of a in your face situation now, but the the sketchy and shady shit is kind of more boom now with all of this. And so I just, yeah, no. Unfortunately, technology and the character of people and their dependency on all such things is it kind of killed it. It kind of killed it, which is sad and it sucks. But I mean, now that I have a word for it, late overs and stay unders, so weird. I'm going to have to make up my own word because both of those suck. Let's be honest on that. But anyway, hopefully you got something out of this. But anyway, leave it in the comments. What do you think? Did you have the 90s sleepover experience? Do you let your kids do the sleepovers, the modern sleepovers? Like, am I just the crazy one? Probably, but hey, I see videos like this all the time, so I just wanted to put my opinion out there. That's what I do. So anyway, hopefully you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.